Yo, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another Keelgottime video, and today, because Keel's got some time, we're going to be reacting to nice students that snapped and off their teachers. Absolutely crazy behavior. I've done snapped at a few teachers in my school days, I won't even lie. During secondary school, Keel wasn't exactly the most behaved youth, I'll admit that, but you know, now that I've got older, I had to slap myself, fix up, and we're good. So, again, let go.
The bad grade incident. Willard Miller was a casual, calm, and boring, but fairly nice student. While attending a school in Fairfield, Iowa, he took a Spanish class with plans to pass and eventually study abroad in Spain. Nohema Graber was a 66-year-old Spanish teacher who also attended Fairfield High School. She had been teaching for years with a reputation for being firm but fair. But on November 2nd, 2021, she had just posted semester grades and one of her students was failing her class. The student was Miller, and the bad grade put his academics standing at risk. With the failed class on his transcript, he would now never be able to travel abroad to Spain. Miller's mother showed up to Graber's class to have a meeting about his academic performance. They sat for a while, shared concerns, made a couple of jokes, and then, well, that was it. The meeting went well for all three of them, and after they left, each individual went back to their home except for Graber. While on a daily walk at Chautauqua Park, she'd bump into Miller. Although she thought the student already went home, she'd wave hi to him. He smiled in return, and then he proceeded to smash her in the face with a baseball bat as hard as he possibly could. Let's pause here for a second. You see, ever since Miller had failed his class in fall, other students reported that he began slowly making dark jokes about Graber just suddenly disappearing. These jokes slowly evolved into intentions when Miller was caught searching things on Google in regards to if students would be given an automatic pass in their class if their teacher passed away mid-term. For some odd reason, a failed semester was enough to cause Miller to snap, and another student named Jeremy Goodale wanted to join him on his nefarious and ridiculously stupid mission to assassinate a teacher for his grades. At this point, you could probably guess what happened. Goodale stayed on watch as Miller struck the Spanish teacher again and again with a baseball bat, swinging as hard as he could. Although you would assume that this shameful atrocity was over, the two students didn't stop there. Miller handed the bat over to Goodale because she was still alive. They kept hitting her over and over again, fracturing her skull and causing irreparable damage. When they finally stopped, they dragged her body off the path, covered it with a tarp they'd brought specifically for this purpose. Then they took her van and drove it to a remote rural road to make her disappearance look random. Her body was discovered the next day by other park visitors. Shortly after her passing, Miller and Goodale were arrested within days after saying things like, "That teacher failed the wrong students, and I caught a body with a bat." The two idiots shamelessly bragged about their deed until it landed them in handcuffs.
Bro, how can you kill someone a joke about that shit? Bro. Especially as like a kid in school, if like I ever came across a situation where I had to unfortunately, you know, take someone's life, bro, I'd be traumatized, bro. I would not be making jokes and shit. No, bro. I'd be shook up for a while, can't even lie. And I'm still in school?
And, in April 2023, both pleaded guilty to their crimes. Miller received life with parole eligibility after 35 years. Goodale got life with parole after 25 years. There's something about failing students from schools that for some odd reason always brings out the worst in them. The overreaction incident. Abby Zwerner was a 25-year-old first-grade teacher at Richneck Elementary School in Newport News, Virginia. January 6th started ordinarily like any other day, but one of her students, a boy who was 20 minus 14 years old, had been acting up all morning. He'd get up repeatedly, disrupt the class, and ignore instructions. The guy was having a blast, but he was out of control, so Abby kept telling him to sit down. At one point, frustrated by being told to sit down again, the fella threw his hands up in the air and yelled, fine. As his arms came down, he deliberately knocked the teacher's phone off her desk, shattering the screen. She had to send him to the office, and school policy required consequences for property damage. So he was suspended and went home angry. His mother was notified, but there was something the school...
Bro, you ever had them kids in class that just take shit too far? Like, they'll be fucking about, everyone thinks it's a little funny at first, and then they just keep dragging it on. And you're just like, alright bro, like, joke's over, shut the fuck up. And it ends up like, students actually get involved. They're like, you got that one girl, come on, just sit down. See bro, them kids bro, they don't know when to stop. Can't lie, that was a bit of me in school. I had that issue.
I probably can't talk too deeply about this on YouTube, but she was struck directly in the chest.
Oh.
The other students screamed, and the perp dropped his weapon.
Wait,
and...
what?
Yeah, pew pew. He pulled out. He helped another student. Was him actually posed. He returned to school. Exactly where it was. His mother was notified, but there was something the school administrators didn't know about. The family kept a loaded pew pew at home, and the boy knew exactly where it was. After serving the suspension, he returned to school. Security didn't thoroughly search his pockets because they seemed too small to hold anything dangerous. And besides, what possible threat could someone as small as him actually pose? He walked into Verna's classroom while she helped another student. She looked up and saw him standing there in the doorway. Suddenly, he pulled out the weapon, and before she could react, yeah, pew pew. I probably can't talk too deeply about this on YouTube, but she was struck directly in the chest. The other students screamed, and the perp dropped his weapon and quickly ran out of the class. Sverna was rushed to the hospital. She survived the attack, but the injury caused permanent damage to her spine since fragments remained permanently lodged near it.
Did you?
It caused permanent damage to her spine.
Bro, that just looks so uncomfortable. Why is shit doing that? Spines don't do this, do they? I know they do that. I know spines do a bit of that.
Since fragments remain
permanently
lodged near it. Doctors determined that it'd be too dangerous to remove without risking paralysis. The little guy couldn't be charged due to his age, but his mother, Deja Taylor, was later charged and received 3 years and 9 months for felony neglect.
Damn.
Sverna resigned from teaching after the attempt on her life. She's spoken publicly about suffering from PTSD and being unable to return to the classroom, and later on filed a $40 million lawsuit.
I'm sorry, it's not funny, but imagine she'd be having dreams and shit of a little kid with a blick. That's her paralysis demon. A little kid with a blick.
Against the school district, claiming administrators had ignored warnings from staff members about the weapon. A first-grade teacher was year-old because she told him to sit down. Madness. The bullied... Noel Estevez was a young man attending school in the Bronx in New York. For months, he had been living in absolute hell. A group of older boys had been tormenting him relentlessly. They'd call him names and shove him into lockers between classes. They would also follow him home and stand outside his building, laughing and threatening him. Sometimes, they urinated on his front door, forcing his family to clean it up.
See, nah. Well, you shoving me into lockers and shit. See, because someone like me, someone like me, from the first time I sense some bullshit happening, I'll probably let it slide. Won't lie. Fool me once, I'll let it slide. But I got my eye on you though. But I'll be like, okay. I don't know about this guy, okay. And then you get to keep doing it. I'm like, nah, okay. So I gotta say something at least. Like, you come up pissing on my front door? Nah, we gotta throw hands. We gotta, nah. We gotta throw hands. We gotta throw hands. And I'm using a weapon. And it's 1v1, not 3v1. I'm gonna make you wait your turn.
Younger siblings watched. Noel told teachers and administrators what was happening. Still, nothing changed. The bullies became more aggressive, with the main one being Timothy Chalamet. Timothy Crump. He was bigger and stronger than Noel, and genuinely enjoyed what.
Whoa! Why are they suddenly making black? Why did they suddenly make Timothy black? Don't tell me Timothy was a black brother.
Watching Noel
Don't do that.
flinch. On June 18th, 2014, Timothy and his friends surrounded Noel again. But this time, Tim started throwing punches, striking Noel in his chest and ribs as he tried defending himself. His bully was too strong, Noel was overpowered, and immediately went down. Other students gathered around filming on their phones as they watched him get beaten to a pulp. And once again, just like the police and just like the teachers, no one stepped in to intervene. It was at this moment that something inside Noel snapped. He'd started carrying a knife for protection and intimidation after months of harassment, never planning to actually use it. But in that moment, Noel saw red. He pulled out the hidden weapon and fought back, completely catching his bully by surprise, and he attacked him. Timothy tried to get away, but there was no chance. He eventually passed away, and Noel was arrested by the police for second-degree murder. But extensive evidence of bullying emerged. Text messages, witness statements, and security footage showed previous attacks, allowing his charge to be reduced. Noel pleaded guilty and received 18 months in juvenile detention and 5 years probation.
Wow. 18 months for catching a hack. It's just a little over a year, bro. What? That's crazy. I know he's a kid and he was bullied, but damn. Really? Nah, he still gotta feel that though. What? He can't just stab someone. I mean, I'm on his side, but he can't just stab someone, you know? That's gotta be at least like, because of the circumstances. I'd give him 6 years. I'd make him feel that. 6 years? And some probation after. You can't just stab a Donny. Bro, 18 months in juvie. You ain't gonna feel that, bro. No.
The duel.
I don't know about that one.
Chen Zihan was
like for standing up for yourself, but yeah, you're a lucky bastard still. You're a lucky bastard.
the Chinese student in Guizhou province. And like Noel, he had also been bullied relentlessly for years by the same group of boys. The main bully was a student named Li Hao. He was bigger and more aggressive than Chen. And for reasons that were never really entirely clear, he'd beat him regularly, take his money, and humiliate him publicly. Chen tried telling his teachers about the attacks. But nonetheless, again and again, Li Hao kept seeking him out. And on April 30th, Li Hao and several gang friends cornered Chen in an alleyway near school after classes ended. But this time felt different from the usual beatings. Li Hao pulled out a knife and then handed it to Chen. "We're going to have a one-on-one knife fight," he shouted loudly to his friends. Chen thought it was a...
This nigga's stupid. Jesus! This nigga is... Oh my gosh. Bro, what? What? Bro, you have the advantage using your fists. Don't... Oh my days. Kids.
bluff, or just another twisted form of psychological manipulation. But he was being dead serious. Li Hao's friends immediately formed a tight circle around...
Wait, I thought this was teachers. I just realized the last one was bully, no. And this one's, I think, gonna be bully too. Oh.
them both, blocking any possible escape routes. All of their faces were stern. None of them were joking. Chen had never held a knife as a weapon. He was terrified to even grab it. His hands were shaking uncontrollably. Li Hao became excited, as if this were entertainment. "Pick it up," Li Hao ordered. Surrounded by enemies, Chen listened and picked up the knife with trembling hands. Then the fight started immediately. Li Hao lunged forward aggressively. He was used to knife fights like these, and to him, Chen
Whoa, what? Huh? How is he used to knife fights? What is this? Who is this kid?
was fresh meat. Li Hao slashed and stabbed at Chen, scarring and injuring the young man. He kept slashing away at him until everything went black. Chen thought he faded out of consciousness, but in reality, the young man cracked. His survival instincts took over, he stopped thinking about what he was doing, and he just reacted on pure adrenaline and fear. To Li Hao's complete surprise, The nerd he once thought was an easy target began overpowering him. An enraged, adrenaline-pumped Chen had now pushed past Li Hao's swipes and unleashed a vicious attack on the bully with the small knife he had. In the blink of an eye, the fight was over. Chen was picked up by emergency services for...
Yeah, I can't lie, that's his own damn fault. That is his own damn fault. Bro, why are you gonna give a knife to the person you've been bullying? Dumbest bully ever. Like, dude. Nah, man, like, for getting his get back, I guess. In that one, that was warranted. That was warranted. He talking about dude was stabbing and slashing at him and stuff. Don't put a knife in my hand. I'm sorry, you put a knife in my hand. You wanna have a knife fight? You're gonna get me, or I'ma get you. You feel me? And let's hope you get me first, because I won't make it pretty.
Injuries, but the same couldn't be said for Li Hao. The wounds Chen left on him were so severe that he passed away before the ambulance could even arrive.
Yeah.
In China, self-defense rarely ends successfully in the court system. Chen was arrested and charged with intentional injury resulting in one's passing, and during his trial, his lawyers argued that he was forced to participate in the fight against his will. They said that he acted purely in self-defense after years of systematic bullying. But nonetheless, Chen was sentenced to 8 years in prison. His case sparked intense national debate in China about school bullying, victim responsibility.
See, that one, nah. That one, nah. They shouldn't have done it for that. They should have gave other buddy 8 years. Well, poor him, man. Poor him.
And whether students fighting back should be held criminally liable. I know these last two stories were about students fighting other students rather than teachers, but nonetheless, I still thought they were important to include. If you're being bullied, please tell someone who will actually listen and take action.
Right.
If you're being ignored, keep on telling different people until someone helps you. And if you see someone being bullied, speak up. Don't just stand there filming it on your phone for social media. Help out a fellow human, because even though it might not seem like it, bullying can change the lives of those involved forever. Be human, be kind to the people around you, and remember, those who are truly strong stand up for those who cannot stand up for themselves. With that being said, have a happy day.
That's what's up, man. For real, I hope y'all really took in that message at the end. Hope you was listening. Facts. I'ma quiz you next video. But yeah, man, make sure y'all like and subscribe. Let me know what you think down below. Go binge the rest of the channels on the Go binge the rest of the videos on the channel. Videos dropping every single day, 5:15 UK time. So make sure you pull up tomorrow, because I'll see you then. Peace, love, and prosperity. We out.